as to why governments, especially here in Ireland, are suddenly becoming so accommodating to the idea of this being, of things going back to the way they were, and the restrictions all stopping. And also, you always say it's a Taliban thing, but that didn't really affect here in other places. Yes, I know lockdowns and carry on going on everywhere, but something very interesting happened yesterday. Uh, a massive asteroid just missed the Earth. It was the size of Central Park in New York, and it whizzed past the Earth at 3 million astronomical, which is extremely close. And it, there was almost a total blackout on it until they said, "Oh, an asteroid is appearing tonight. It's going to whiz by us, the size of the Central by us." And just like that, it wasn't announced before. Now, this happened before in 2009, or 2008, I can't remember, where a colossal asteroid, they were worried about hitting, and there was a complete blackout even on astronomy sites like Bad Astronomy and NASA. And the reason was, if that thing had hit us, we would have been toast. And the same with this thing. Now, I've been speculating all along that there's more. There seems to be more to this than the than just the virus. It just and then people say, "Oh, the Great Reset," but they could do that. They could do that tomorrow using the banks. There'd be no problem doing that tomorrow. UBI could be done tomorrow. All that stuff could be done tomorrow. But it was always a niggling thing in the back of my head that there was a cosmic or environmental catastrophe or something that they were worried about beyond the Rona. And here, lo and behold, I mean, it was one of those things when I read the story, it was like, oh, that was it. It was almost like a sense of knowing. It was weird that they were really concerned that that thing could have had a pop at the Earth. Now you say 3.5 million miles is, is close. Doesn't What they mean by that is if that's taken a deviation by a half a degree towards the Earth, that 3 million miles is swallowed up in no time, and suddenly it's flying right into the Earth's orbit. This could be done by a few things: the gravitational pull of other planets, other asteroids in its immediate vicinity that might knock against, or like a pool table balls, or outgassing can do this, where gas are released and suddenly change the direction of it. But were they worried about this one that flew by the other? Because I'm seeing an awful lot of relieved faces and stuff in the media today. Now, on top, the way it was just announced tonight, a massive asteroid will fly by, will zip by at colossal speed, and this one is so colossal that it was and considered so dangerous that the next one, in terms of being as dangerous as that, is not expected until 2080, 80. Sorry, 2180. So another 60 odd years. And that's how significant this thing was. Now we've had a few asteroid clippings, but in the area this year, as if we were going through some kind of asteroid heavy part of the solar system or whatever. I know they come. I know they orbit through the Oort cloud and stuff like that, like comets. But we do know from an Uma that things can enter from strange angles now. So it seems to me that that might have been it. That might have been the reason for it. Now suddenly this morning, the Irish newspaper's full of like ending restrictions and stuff like what out of blue, and how the politicians would be vehemently against lockdowns, and the two-tiered eating thing in restaurants has to end, and kids have to go back to school, and the economy will be completely open in a couple of months. Like what? Where does this all go from? And at the same time, we're having record numbers of Rona cases from the needlecraft in the hospitals. I mean, something doesn't make sense there. On top of that, the last 24 hours, I cannot believe the psychotics I've seen online. Just about every psychotic in my life has shown up, as if they were like it was the last chance for a feed before the world was wiped out. It really felt like that. So where are all these fuckers coming from? And I mean, and mental illness of them, the extreme mental illness of them, was incredible to behold. And it was just unbelievable. Like, you could just see them foaming at the mouths as they were typing on there into Twitter, into whatever program it was in. It's just fascinating stuff to watch. Was that, I know, was that connected to the thingy in the sky? Were they Renfielding and Canariing like crazy? I think they were. I think they were. I think we could be getting a revelation here of what the real story was. I mean, you don't have a buyout that size just miss us only be announced on the day it just missed us. They're always giving us updates, and there were some pretty heavy ones this year. Fuck, it makes you wonder. It really, really makes you fucking wonder if this was all about this. If this was all about this, and I mean, what can you do? They'll never tell you the truth anyway, and you'll always get one story and be given another, and suddenly there's all kinds of drugs being approved for the ping pong, and all this kind of thing, and it's all very kind of positive. Oh, we've nearly vaccinated. It's like suddenly there's a massive push to vaccinate everyone, right? Then then this asteroid appears in the sky, and then someone else says, "Oh, nearly everyone is vaccinated now." What? It just really makes me wonder if this was the real if the scandemic was the cover story for that asteroid yesterday. If they probably didn't know until a couple of weeks ago, or maybe a week ago, that it was going to miss us, and they couldn't tell us. And Greg Moffat had a thing about it on Legalized Freedom, where he said it was like they decided, if the world is going to end, it's better if everybody's at home with their families. And yeah, I mean, wow. And ever since I saw the film Melancholia, actually a classic old film, When Worlds Collide, it's all I've been thinking about lately, is the possibility of this. And I don't know why. I don't know why. But there you go. There you have it. It's just, wow. Was that the reason? Because I found it hard to believe from the beginning that a seasonal virus that kills, yeah, there was a bad seasonal virus, and there has been bad ones in the past that killed the same kind of people, the same demographics. This is why hospital trolleys are packed with patients every year and elderly folks. They're all getting the seasonal viruses. And a rolling stone dies on the day a rolling stone misses the earth. So there's a kind of a poetic thing there to Charlie. What's his demise? A rolling stone vanishes as a rolling stone vanishes. A space rolling stone. Of course, it's impossible to know who to believe anymore. Like, the cynicism of the public is remarkable now. I was watching, like, when you read the Irish newspapers now, the government makes these positive announcements about opening up and stuff. The public are like, you lying bastards, you fucking liars, you lie, you lie, you lie. And someone pointed out that Israel played this ruse, that they gave everyone freedom, and then the ping pongs, the ones who got second Jabberwockies, had infected everyone else. And the next thing you know, they had to have a big harsh lockdown. I do wonder, you really do fucking wonder. And there's a Phil Lynott documentary on tonight from Thin Lizzy, and I'm a huge Thin Lizzy and Phil Lynott fan. And it's a new film. It's a new film that's come out. If you go to the RTE website, it's on their player. I think it's broadcast at 9:45 Irish time. I don't know if you'll be able to watch it where you are, if it's locked out or anything. But I'm kind of hoping they don't turn it into a racial thing. That's what really bothers me about it. Those of us who grew up on Thin Lizzy never saw Phil Lynott as black. Never. And I mean that really. We never saw him as a black dude. We saw him as a Dublin. Very Dublin. Very, very Dublin. But like his skin colour we didn't even think about it. I was like, what? And I remember seeing an interview with Brian Robinson, the guitar player Robbo from the Scottish Thin Lizzy. And he says, I never thought of Philip as being black. To me, he was very, very, very Irish, very Dublin. Now, I hope this documentary tonight doesn't go on some kind of massive, Black Lives Matter thing, because that'd be a complete revisionism of the truth, because that's not what he was. That's not how he lived. He wasn't, that's not how he existed. He didn't, his identity was absolutely Irish. And that's what he saw himself as. But I'm still looking forward to the documentary, but I'm kind of a bit nervous too that it's going to be all like politically correct and, cultural Marxism. I'm sure there'll be a tint of that to it. Let's hope it doesn't go too far. So apart from that, there isn't much news today. The weather's still quite warm, and it still makes you kind of drought. A lot of energy has been zapped out of the air in the recent days, and I have a terrible headache here from I didn't get no sleep last night. But yeah, let's see what happens. If they start suddenly being more enthusiastically pro opening up and doing it, we'll know that thing that flew by last night probably or might have been it. Take care, and I love you all.